Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Make Me Watch Movies. The movie you're making me watch today is CREEPSHOW, directed by the one and only George A. Romero. All written by Sir Stephen King.
Legendary status of these two.
I mean, legendary in like childhood nostalgia, I guess. Like Goonies is legendary.
I think top dogs of the craft.
Yeah, they're top. Exactly. Stephen King is one of the
Oh, you're talking about
foremost
them,
horror writers of all time. And George Romero is one of the foremost directors of horror of all time. Yes, talking about them.
I put George Romero in like top 5 for sure.
Yeah, sure, me too.
I don't know about top
round out
5. I'm
top
not
5.
sure. I mean, that's
It might be number 5.
in just horror directors.
Yeah, I think he gets a top 5 just because of
I
how
think he
big
gets
Night of the Living Dead was.
I think it's a top 10 for me. I mean, I love Night of the Living Dead,
Top
but
10.
I think he's top 5.
not everything's great.
Name your 9 better ones. Name your 9 more.
Who's your 9 better horror directors? I'm definitely curious about that.
I can definitely think of probably 5 more.
Yeah, that's why I said top 5.
Okay. John Carpenter, Wes Craven.
Classics.
Of course.
Can you say James Cameron?
James Cameron.
James Cameron?
I mean, that's a good question. His movies have some
I
horrific
don't know.
things.
I would say Terminator's a horror movie.
Terminator 1 is a horror movie. That's about it, though.
Great. So that's what I just said. I would say Alien is a horror movie.
Alien is Ridley Scott. Aliens is not a horror movie.
Damn, I forgot about that. I thought he did Alien.
No, he did Aliens.
Well, Terminator's a horror movie.
Yeah, he's got one where this dude.
He's got one. It's legend.
everybody you
That's
just
a
named
legendary movie.
has,
It's
like,
a
10.
revolutionary and legendary movie.
I love that Jay can't think of one other name right
I
now.
go Toby Hooper, because you guys are talking. I don't interrupt like some people.
Hooper drives the boat, Chief. Steven Spielberg.
So what makes
Spielberg's a
Toby
good
Hooper
choice.
over George A. Romero? I think Night of the Living Dead is just as popular and iconic as Texas Chainsaw.
I mean, we're just talking preference here. I just prefer
okay.
the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, it's like hard to debate like quality. I mean, Toby Hooper has some good
All
shit,
I'm saying is you ain't got
Toby Hooper did
10 in the
Exorcist.
chamber to put him at
I'm not saying. I mean, he could be like
Bottom
6 or
5.
7, 6, 7, 8 kind of. I'm not thinking he's maybe 9 or 10. I'm just saying all horror movie directors. Because I would put Jordan Peele over him, honestly. Like I'm even. I don't care. I don't care that
That's
he's new. He's
interesting.
He's great.
Ugh.
Ari Aster is debatable in that sense.
Not yet. Not yet.
He's getting there. He's getting close. Of this generation, you know. It's a new
Sure. This generation,
New
sure.
generation.
James Wan, maybe like that's similar.
You could put James
similar
Wan in
to
there.
James
I mean, you
Wan's
could put
in there.
James Wan in there.
I'm 100% in with Mr. Wan.
I know there's some like older names I'm like just blanking on right now, but like
You don't want to
those-
say Sam Raimi so bad. I can.
Oh, I
it
see.
in your
I didn't even
eyes.
think of Sam Raimi. I'm like I'm having
Dario Argento.
brain fart. Yeah, those I would say Sam Raimi over him. Dario Argento. He's yeah, actually probably. So that's like there's like at least 6 of them that's over George A. Romero in
I
my.
think that was 5.
And
right
no
there.
hate, no
Good job.
hate on
You
George
thought
A.
of-
Romero.
You thought of 2, and we helped you with the rest.
I thought of 5. I said 5, and then you guys said the other ones.
Guillermo.
Guillermo's
Guillermo
a
del
good
Toro?
choice. Yeah,
I mean,
there you go.
Sure, yeah.
Park. Chan. Wook.
I think his movies are classified more to me as thrillers, but yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's necessarily horror.
Mystery thrillers.
They're kind of, yeah, they're even like action, like sometimes.
Yeah, they got some action. in there.
Psychological things like that.
Yeah, that's why I think it's a thriller.
Takeshi Miike, maybe. I mean,
Miike's got a couple great horrors. I mean, I
got
guess
a
on
lot
how
of
you
work,
would
but-
count.
he does a lot of different type of shit though, so it's hard
He
to
does,
say.
yeah.
It's not like necessarily a horror director.
Yeah, I mean, I think while I might not be I might like Ari Aster and Robert Eggers and even a few other people ahead of James Wan. I still think because of James Wan's body of work, and he is definitely in that top 10 for now. I mean, he's done a lot of things, and I like everything he's done.
But body of
He's just,
work, revolutionary, trailblazingness. I mean, that's where we talk about the
Top
Wes
10s.
Craven,
I mean, I think the
that
top
guy,
two were definitely Wes
Toby
Craven and
Hooper,
John
and
and
this
Jack
guy.
Carpenter or John Carpenter. Like those
Yeah,
are
John
always one and
Carpenter.
two.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but Night of the Living Dead, you can't is undeniable. I mean,
I
Oh,
agree.
of course.
I
the
agree.
whole franchise. He's
Dawn
did
of
a
the
bunch
Dead,
those.
Day of the
Dawn
Dead,
those, great.
all that shit.
I'm
He
trying-
made this in between those two. This was the movie he made in between Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. Mr. Romero.
with Tom
Second,
Savini. I mean, Tom Savini's his makeup is kind of a genre on its own.
Dude, he's
Right.
Sex Machine in fucking From Dusk Till Dawn.
Dude, I didn't even realize that till I
I'd
was
say-
watching
Yeah.
that making of documentary. I'm like, oh, that's Tom Savini. He's in Dust Till Dawn.
Yep.
Thought that was hilarious.
That's probably the
It
first
totally-
time I ever saw
Totally
him. too.
makes sense too, because
Yeah.
I'm sure Tarantino and Rodriguez are like, dude, that was a small part.
Exactly.
And it's
I mean,
actually
that's
a
what-
he made
pretty
all
good size part.
he made all the fucking all the things.
I actually think that's what makes this movie so cool to me. Is that's like it's a satire made by two giants of the craft as like a love letter. You know what I mean? They love these 1950s comic book shit, and they made that. It's like kind of like when Robert Rodriguez made Sin City. He was just such a big fan. He made his anthology movie with Sin City, and this was George Romero's anthology movie, and he got Stephen King to write it, which is dope.
It was just so dumb.
It's satire. It's taking it's taking it to
story
the
was
highest
so
level
dumb.
of it.
The Stephen King's was the worst.
That
He's
was
the
fun,
worst
though.
actor. He's the worst actor in the world.
I think
It's
that was my
fun, though.
favorite one, man. I think
What?
Yeah, that was a
Stephen King
great
my
one.
favorite,
That was a
honestly.
great
What?
one.
I thought it reminded me of The Color Out of Space.
He's like,
Yeah.
shoot, no.
He just leaned into it so much. I'm just like,
It's
this is,
asteroid shit.
dude. If you're gonna
Dude,
go campy. Like
it's
that's what
camp.
they did in this.
Camp 101.
It's lame. He's terrible.
Nah, it's fun.
It's awful. There was a lot of good
fun.
actors in this, and that was
Dude,
just,
Leslie
that
Nielsen's
was
best
so-
Surprisingly
role.
good cast. for
Leslie
sure.
Nielsen's best role, in my opinion. He was really good in this movie.
He was
That's-
great. I was
that-
surprised that I
that's a-
that I
he was
liked
good.
that one. I liked
That's
that
my
one
favorite
because
story.
of him.
Yeah, that's my favorite story. I love the shot of fucking what's his name? Who's the other dude?
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson under the water before he dies is
Yeah.
amazing. Like just the whole situation of like having to bury yourself in the sand like that and like watch that video. That's just crazy fucked up.
Yeah.
I love fucked up shit like that.
That was dope. Like nothing really happened in that one, but it was dope. Other than like them drowning. Like,
So I
there was
read
no,
that
like-
they shot another ending to where when they come in as the ghost, that wasn't real, and he calls the cops to the house because of it, and then they get there and they watch the videos. He ends up incriminating himself in one of the videos, and then he goes to death row and he dies on death row, and he dies of like poison gas, but he yells the line, "I can hold my breath for a long time." Like that would have been kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if that's a better ending, but
It's fun though.
it was already long, that one.
That was the longest one for sure. That and the crate. were
No,
long
the-
ones.
I think the
yeah,
crate was the
next
longest
one
by
was
far.
long as
Yeah.
fuck. I was
That
over
one
that
was-
one pretty
I
quick.
love that one. Oh, I like that one. That one to me is the most like Lovecraft one, which is why I like it the most.
I almost
Start from the
forgot.
beginning. Let's start from
Yeah.
the top.
For sure, yeah. Do you want to do the
What'd you-
haikus first? I
what'd you
wrote
almost
a
forget?
haiku.
What'd you
Or the
almost
haiku.
forget?
Oh, I was gonna say I was commenting on one of the stories. That I almost forgot like the second part of the plot of the crate.
With the wife?
Yeah, the whole wife thing, because it was
Yeah,
like
just
it was
went on
them, and
too
then
long.
it jumped to like the whole crate shit, and then it went back to the dude and his like bitch wife, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot those are the same. This is the same thing still.
Watching
but that's
the same
it's
story.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, boo.
yeah. Not needed comment.
Alright,
Anyway,
this is
what's
like
your
making
haiku,
fun of
Schwartz?
Grindhouse. Yeah. My haiku? Moonlit tales unfold. Creepshow's eerie anthology. Thrills that chill the soul.
Sick.
sick.
Jake,
Let's
you
go.
got one?
Who's got another one?
I wrote mine. I got one. Ahem. 5 scary stories. Werewolves and water zombies? I just want some cake.
Werewolves. Where was there a werewolf?
Whatever the
That
fuck,
fucking
whatever the thing was in
Thing
the
out of the
crate.
stairs.
That was not a werewolf. You guys are dumb
Whatever
dumb
the
if that was a werewolf. That
That
was
was
like a
definitely
little.
werewolf.
Whatever.
No,
What
no,
the
that
fuck
was
was
like
it then?
a-
You tell me.
That was like the Abominable Snowman midget edition.
What?
Well, it
I mean,
looked
you
and
see it. It said
sounded
it on
like
the
a
crate.
werewolf.
On the crate, if you guys saw the little name, it said Christina Carpenter from the Antarctic expedition of 1864. It was a little nod to like the thing, and it was supposed to be like an Antarctic fucking monster they found out there. That's what it said on the crate when they shine the
All right, I'm
flashlight.
just
over.
going by the
It
fact
looked like
that
a
it
wolf
looked
to
like
me,
a
asshole.
werewolf.
Yeah,
It did not look like a
thank you.
wolf.
Looked like a
It
wolf.
looked like a
Looked
werewolf.
like a fucking
way.
werewolf.
It did not
Yes,
look
it
like a
did.
wolf.
Let's look this
I
up
did
real
not see
quick.
wolf. I saw like monster, like just crazy monster. It might have had
Well,
like the
yeah.
mouth of a wolf, maybe just the mouth, but that's it. It's like a little furry beast.
That's a way to identify
You're a
a
fucking furry
mouth
beast.
or a werewolf is by its snout. So that's what we saw.
Doesn't have a
Look-
snout though. It's just got a long mouth.
It looked like the fucking Mask and Creep, the Peach
Alright.
Fuzz and Creep.
No, it
All
did
right.
not.
Remember?
No,
going,
it did not.
Going deep in.
It's not a werewolf.
Kind of looks. It's kind of both, guys.
It's
Gotta-
not a werewolf.
Okay, that looks Sasquatchy.
It's definitely more
Yes,
of what Schwartz was saying than I
Sasquatchy, yeah.
thought, but it's definitely also
yeah.
kind of werewolfy.
Yeah.
It's only a little werewolfy. You know what's
it is-
werewolfy?
it's a
Whatever,
little
dog.
werewolfy.
It's
You
got
know what's
fangs. It's
werewolfy
got sort of
the
snoutish.
eyes.
This
The
right
shot
here
of
is
the eyes
werewolfy.
That
is
shot,
werewolfy.
yeah,
This right
yeah.
here, this one's werewolfy.
Exactly. The eyes for sure looked werewolf.
It's the eye, but I never got werewolf from it though. I would never describe that as a werewolf.
I just
described
said
it as, like, a
werewolf. I just
yeti.
assumed werewolf. It was just werewolf to me.
Well, whatever.
It's in the werewolf family, probably.
Yeah.
It's a cousin of a werewolf.
It's probably related. It's probably fucked a werewolf in the past.
Werewolf adjacent.
It might have, yeah.
All right.
Sorry,
what's
my
the- what's the
haiku wasn't
first-
perfectly accurate for you.
It's okay. I forgive. What's your IQ, Antony?
Oh, I didn't do mine already.
Nope.
Oh.
Comic horrors blend. Creepshow's twisted delight. Fears laughter. Oh no, yeah. Fears laughter transcends.
Fears, laughter, transcendent school.
You like that one?
I had to clap that one out to see if it actually worked.
Laugh it out.
You know, the syllables.
I wrote it in about 5 seconds, so it may not work all the way. Let's
All right,
start
well,
at the top.
Before we talk about the movie real quick, let's just talk about this is the first quote unquote anthology that we've done. And I actually like looked up a lot of these and I've actually seen a lot of these horror ones. There's like particularly horror ones. And have you guys ever seen more of them? Like Tales from the Dark Side or Tales from the Hood? Have you guys seen Tales from the Hood? Tales from the Hood is the best fucking one ever. It's about these dudes who go to rob a fucking mortuary because like they think that there's drugs in it, and the guy who runs it is
Yeah, I did
Clarence
see that.
Williams III. Dude, that's the best fucking
think I've
movie
seen
ever. That's so good. That's
these
on my
were
list.
all,
now
these
to-
were
to
all like
watch.
childhood shows that I wasn't like really supposed to watch. So
Yeah,
I
me
didn't
neither.
see a
Me
lot of
neither.
them.
Well,
My cousin showed them to me. That's how I saw this movie.
this movie felt like a TV show almost, like the way it was shot. It was like lower budget, and like the lighting felt very like TV like.
Well, it was
Yep.
staged for
So,
sure.
for sure, very much so. And I feel like I'm always
It was
more into
all
those
in an old
shows.
abandoned school, like abandoned school
Oh.
on the East Coast in like Pittsburgh, I think, wherever George Romero shoots all his shit.
Pittsburgh, yeah,
I guess the beach and the Leslie Nielsen one was in Jersey.
Yeah,
probably. And the
it's-
matte and
it's
the
like
house was a matte painting. Actually, if you saw that in the doc, it was pretty crazy. The house in the background on the beach.
right near the beach.
Also, I know none of us ever read these comics, but like EC Comics is like a big 1950s horror comics, and the Tales from the Crypt like originated there. The comics that became the show later, that became like the movie later. So these like stories and the style of visually is exactly what the comics are. Like when they do the transition from the comic to the movie, that's like purposely to show that's like we're making exactly what is in this book. So it's like fanboys making something, which is cool to me too. You know, it's two people doing something they really want to do, which to me adds like a coolness to it. I don't know. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Like if directors you like to get to do fun shit they like to do.
Did
Like when Tarantino Rodriguez made Grindhouse, that was just fun.
Yeah, that doesn't make me like this whole thing anymore though.
So you don't like this movie? You didn't enjoy this movie? Like it wasn't fun from start to end?
It
The
had
only
its
story I didn't
fun
like was the last
qualities.
one. The only story I had no interest in was the last story. That story was like boring as fuck.
Which was
The cockroaches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the worst one.
I just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. I
didn't
think I
give a
was
fuck
also
about
like
the crate
by the time
either.
it got there, I was kind of like I'm over this movie. The crate,
Alright,
the
well-
crate was too long, and then I think was the cockroach thing was right after that. And I'm just like, okay, one more, fucking, let's get this over with.
So you guys hated this fucking movie.
Hate's a strong word.
Yeah, exactly. I think there was there was times I was enjoying myself, but overall, like I don't think it was that strong of a film. Like I could have gone without this movie. I'm not like I'm
So
not.
this doesn't.
It's not one of those like where's
I
this
mean-
been all my life movies. Like it's just kind of like okay, that was
Yeah, no, I'm
that was
glad I
all right.
watched it, but you know, it's like
So does this doesn't make you want to watch other anthology movies, particularly horror?
Not
Actually,
really.
I found out about this crazy one that when I researched it that I feel like you'll love, Jake. It's called Kaidan or Kaidan. It's
Oh, I actually have. I almost started. I watched the first story one
Okay,
time,
so
and
that
then I
is a
forgot to go back
legend.
to it.
That
Yeah.
is a legendary movie made a long time ago. That was made in 1964, way before this. And supposedly people say that that's one of like the scariest movies ever made. Scorsese was like quoted as saying that.
Who directed that?
Kaidan?
I think it was it the same
I'm not
director that did
sure.
Harikari that we did?
Was it?
I think it was the same director as that.
I don't know.
But yeah, you're right. I did want to watch that. That's no old
Yeah, I want to
Japanese.
see the shit out of that. That looks
Okay,
awesome.
that would be rad.
I'm
Well,
gonna
let's
watch
set it
that for
out.
sure.
Yeah,
It's
check
just
the
all about
director.
it's Japanese folklore. It's all based on it translates to ghost stories in English, and it's just all these Japanese folklore stories. It's like 3 hours long. There's three stories, and each one of them's an hour.
I watched the first one a while ago.
Yeah, was it good?
I think so. I think it was cool. I remember being creepy. Like it was something
Is that how you
about
pronounce it? Is
I
it
guess creep-
Kaidan or Kadan or Kidan or
I don't Kadan. I don't know.
K-A? It's Kwaidan. Kadan.
Who
Kadan.
who's to say?
Who's to
Who,
say?
yeah, who's to say?
So I guess
also,
getting back to
who cares?
the whole anthology thing, like
Right.
this is like the most commercial one ever, like successful one. Like this was like a pretty big one. A lot of them don't do well because I feel like people are more like you guys and are like, whatever. Like it was cool. It was whatever. I'm glad I watched it. It's whatever. So I mean, I don't think they do really well with like people who don't like really love this shit. But anyway, I thought this was
Bummer.
a fun one.
Because did you see the Wes Anderson Wes
Sorry,
Anderson
this is a fucking
recent
niche movie. Like I don't know what to tell you.
It's
French
nice.
Dispatch?
Mhm.
French Dispatch. That was a
That was a fun
anthology.
one.
I didn't really like it. I remember like watching in the theater and just kind of not caring because stories were shorter. It wasn't very fleshed out. It was just kind of it was what it was.
You're not an
Wasn't that
anthology guy.
I'm just not an
Buster
anthology guy.
Scruggs was pretty good.
Yeah, Buster Scruggs was pretty
That
good.
was all right. Yeah, I didn't hate it.
I mean, I like Four Rooms. Four Rooms is fun.
Performance was all right.
Last one really tops it off.
Cool. Yeah, I mean that was this Tarantino one. I think that's really like the best part. Like some of them
I
don't
like the
remember.
Witches.
I don't
one.
remember all
Witches
the
one was
rooms.
fun.
I don't remember that one.
And Robert Rodriguez had the one where the kids were like terrorizing him. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I remember that one with Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
That was like I think that was the first room.
First or
Nah.
second. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember that one in Tarantino's.
So
Creepshow,
Creepshow,
anthology.
1982,
All right. So
Father's Day.
this is a movie about a kid who loves horror comics. And his dad's like, "Fuck you, bro. I'm a drunk and I don't like you.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't like your comics."
This is the prologue.
This is the prologue.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
the
not
sequel.
Father's Day yet.
So his family is like fucking like his dad's fucking with him. His mom's just pushover, and kid's up in his room, and dad beating on him a little bit. Took away his comics, threw it out, and then later that night, he's just like staring at his window, smiling, and like the creepiest fucking thing in the world is there. And I was thinking to myself, if I was a fucking kid and I was in the fucking bedroom and that came to my window, I'd shit my fucking pants.
This dad was hilarious, though.
The dad was the worst.
He was like,
Douchebag.
"That's why fathers were put here, son.
Yeah.
to discipline their kids.
Yeah.
Someone's
That
got to
was
hit
bad.
him.
Someone's got to do it."
That was the worst. So anyway, so this dude, this kid's up in his room, and the crypt guy is there, and you come to realize that he's just like reading these comics, and we're shown stories of the comics. Is that how it goes into the first one, or is it outside and it like goes in with the camera? I can't remember.
I
that.
think it like I think the creep guy, the creeper, I think is what they call him, because the crypt guy is the crypt keeper
Crypt
from
Keeper.
Tales from the Crypt,
Mm-hmm.
also an anthology thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Like I said, this movie's based on the old comic versions of Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was directly what it was. So yeah, the guy is like hovering out the window, and I think when he's out, that the shot of him in the window, that's when it turns into a comic book. Like it kind of does, like
Yep.
whatever fades into
You're
him
right.
being
The
a
creeper
cartoon.
turns into it too.
Yeah, and then it
Yeah.
follows him into the street, and then the book opens up, and then they go into the book, and then the movie's all
Father's Day.
gimmicky with their silly page wipes and their
Ah, that's so
framing.
fun. What's not fun about that, man?
I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, it's
Sometimes
fun
it's a
as a
little
kid.
silly, but it's
Wait,
it's a little
did
silly.
you watch
but
this when you were a kid?
I watch this all the time. I
See,
mean,
this is the first time I've ever
Okay,
seen
so-
this, and I'm an adult.
the
so
nostalgia
what?
thing for you.
It's still fun.
It's like you watching Goonies. It's like doesn't hit.
No, that's not even
Right.
close to the same.
100%.
This isn't the
It's the
same
exact
thing
same
as
thing.
Goonies.
#1 is a way better movie than this. Thousand
Totally,
better,
totally,
thousand times better than this.
Totally. Yeah. Because you didn't watch Goonies till you were what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I was in my 30s.
And yeah, so
What kind of childhood is that?
that was Anthony's and I childhood movie. This was your childhood movie that Anthony and I have never seen.
I have many childhood
Ooh.
movies that are not CREEPSHOW, but this is definitely a movie I saw probably at least like when I was like 15 or 16.
Yeah, back when they called you CREEPSHOW.
Hey, CREEPSHOW.
Hey, CREEPSHOW.
What's up?
Speaking of CREEPSHOw, Stephen King wrote this in a week.
That's awesome.
That's not true. It
But
was 60
That
days.
is true.
It's
No,
no,
it
I
was
saw
60
it.
days,
On
yeah.
the
We saw the
documentary I
doc.
just watched.
Supposedly Stephen King has this
Nah,
thing where
he said
no, listen.
he said I'll do it in 60 days, and then on a later interview and asked, he said I actually did it in a week. I just told him 60 days, so I delivered in 60 days.
Oh, that's dope. Dude, Stephen King writes like it's just he just writes every day for hours. He has like a 9 to 5. He starts like 9 to 5. I read his book. Like no matter what, even if he hates everything he writes or he doesn't have
writes.
anything to write, he just writes.
But
And,
that
like,
just
that's
means
how he does
that
it.
a lot of your shit's gonna be not good.
Yeah, but I mean, I've read a lot of Stephen King books, and
And a
well,
lot
man,
of
I've
it's
read like
not good.
4 or 5, but he's got a lot. And they're all most of his shit's like considered really good. Like I think like I'd say like 75 to 80% of his catalog is considered like pretty great shit. That's pretty good considering he's put out like 30 or 40 books.
That's just a number you kind of came up with, but I don't know.
No, man, look it up. Look
You
that shit
you
up.
just
You would
kinda
100% just made
gave
that up right
Google it.
now.
It's like I would say
Google
I
it.
don't know 70 80%.
70
Google it.
to 80% are good. Like what kind of like statistic is that?
It's a statistic
It's
I just
fucking
told you.
science, dude.
Yeah. What good? What's good about it?
So
The
yeah,
opinion and the public
The-
opinion.
the and Tales of the Crypt was one of the EC comics. There was multiple. There was
Word,
a bunch of
alright.
EC comics, but apparently Tales of the Crypt was one. So there's like a obvious
history.
connection there. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
I didn't
the
realize
dad
that.
throws out the comic book, says you can't read this bullshit.
Yeah.
And
Beats his son with a belt.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's
Like
how
it.
I used to get hit with a belt.
I mean, I'm not saying
And
there's
look at
anything wrong
me.
with it, but
I
like,
hit kids with belts. And then we
Maybe
go
there's something wrong with
into
it.
Father's Day, the first story.
Yeah. So that's about a well-to-do family that's all meeting up at like their annual party,
do.
third Sunday in June, and
On Father's Day.
on Father's Day. And one of the women who's in the family brings her date, played by Ed Harris, a young Ed Harris,
Great.
who I was like, damn, dude, Ed Harris was even
My
bald back
second
then.
best Ed Harris role.
And they tell her about the former matriarch of the family, Aunt Bedelia, whatever the fuck her name was. And the thing is that everybody knows that she murdered her father or their father, which was her husband. Was it her husband or her
I
father?
think it was her father.
grandfather.
I
It's
thought it was
No,
her
Bedelia's-
father.
it's
Bedelia is
Bedelia's
the mom for
grandfather.
now. No. Great Aunt Bedelia is the aunt, so I think it's her father, and then
Yes,
the
the
other
aunt's
woman
father.
is the other woman. You're not her. We're not on her yet.
Yes.
This is where they're telling Ed Harris about the legend of the aunt, like the woman who ended up killing the dad.
Bedelia.
Or
That's
end up
what
trying to
Father's
kill the
Day.
dad.
It's her father.
It's her
Bedelia.
father, yeah, Bedelia.
Delia.
Did you guys ever watch or read Amelia Bedelia, the books?
No, I don't
No.
think so. What's that?
They were kids' books.
Sounds familiar, actually.
It was Amelia Bedelia. She was like a maid for like these rich people all the time, and they hired her. And then she but she always fucked up because they'd be like, all right, just remember to draw the curtains when it gets sunny. And then she would like draw a picture of the curtains, and they're like, that's not what we meant, Amelia. And then they're like, and then make sure you plant the bulbs, like for things. She was planting light bulbs instead of planting, she did draw she just did fuck the literal shit. And they were like, Amelia Bedelia, you're fired. But then she always made a pie, and then they always smelt the pie, and then they were like, oh man, this is the best pie in the world. All right, Amelia Bedelia, you're hired again. That's how everything
That sounds
ended.
fucking stupid.
So she's like an idiot who
She's
makes
just an
good
idiot
pie.
who makes pies.
Yeah, it's kind of like this movie.
At least she makes good pie.
All right, so they're telling him
I
about
wonder if
how
It is about a mentally handicapped person that's just really good at making pies. It's like a retarded Martha Stewart.
that's fucked up.
Pie's
So
probably symbolism for something else.
so the father who they killed, he was known for like bootlegging and like extortion and murder for hire.
He's just an all-around bad guy.
Just a terrible person doing rich white people
He
Donald
seemed
Trump
okay.
things.
He's like Jake's dad.
Yeah, he's like Jake's dad.
My dad's pretty more. I feel like he's more indifferent about.
Your dad
Yeah.
a bootlegger? What are we talking? How did we get?
He just George just said that.
I
Don't
just
bring
put
up. Don't say on this podcast.
I'd rather not.
You're right.
Yeah,
Fuck
ra-
that guy.
we'd
All right.
rather not
Delete
talk
that.
about it.
Delete that.
Okay.
Beep, boop, bop, boop, boop.
Beep, boop, bleep.
Delete it.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
so she ends up taking care of her father, Amelia Bedelia, over here, and he like basically just makes her life a living hell. He's an asshole to her, treats her like shit. She ends up killing him one day with an ashtray.
Also, like the whole thing is that he's not getting her fucking. All he wants for Father's Day is a cake, and he's not
Cake,
getting
dude.
his cake. Where's my cake, you dirty bitch? I think is the line in this movie, which is
Great line.
amazing.
Best line of the movie for sure.
Best line of the movie. There's a couple good lines. That's the best.
Name the other two.
She never made him a cake. She tried to make him a cake. Every time she tried to make him a cake,
Yes.
but she couldn't make it in time. It wasn't good enough. Nothing was good enough for this guy. And he's just an all-around scumbag. So one day, after a verbal abuse, rampant verbal abuse, she takes an ashtray. Which, does that ashtray appear in every single short?
Does it?
I'm pretty sure it's by the bedside of Leslie Nielsen.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure it's in the bathroom in the last one, the cockroach.
That's dope.
one.
I love that.
Anyway, continue. She whacks him. She gives him a good whack.
Yeah, she whacks him with the ashtray, and then did she bury him or no?
And it's no like question. Everyone know people are like, "Oh yeah, she did it." Like it's like she definitely like cops to doing it. She goes to him every year and drinks some Jim Beam with him.
So cut to present day, and she goes there and she dubs the Jabid about the thing, and this is like intercut with them telling Ed Harris about this whole thing, and then the fucking guy comes alive and kills her first. Like how
she gave one for her homies, and her homies came alive.
Yeah, homie came alive, kills her, goes to the house, murks everybody, and then like makes a cake out of her head, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, a lot goes on, including a pretty sweet Ed Harris dance scene.
Yeah. So there's in that documentary, they talk about the dance scene, and Harris basically, yeah, George is really like no help. He just basically just like dance, and then like I'm not a dancer, so I just did what I thought would be interesting, and that's what we got.
It is interesting.
It's hilarious. Like the whole 80s is just a hilarious time. It's just comical.
It's funny that you picked this because of your disdain for the 80s.
I mean,
Yeah.
these are fun though. It's like a comic book strip. You know what I mean? It's fun.
That's
This is
what the
super
80s
fun.
was.
Like you don't
was
like you
fun.
didn't like the Goonies. You
No, it was
didn't
great.
like Back to the Future.
Those
You
are all
didn't
fun.
like
Those are
you
so
just-
much fun.
You didn't like these movies, and you like this. It just blows my mind.
Let me
Hey.
like what I like, please. I like fun stuff.
Piece of
Listen,
shit,
I'm not
George.
saying
Back
that
to the
Back to the
Future's
Future
not
is
fun?
not great. I'm not saying the Goonies aren't great. I am saying that if I saw them at a time in my life that you guys did, I would have much more of a high regard for them.
There's Amelia Bedelia.
Amelia Bedelia by Peggy. Is it Parrish or Panish?
Peggy
can't read it.
Parrish.
Peggy Panish is funnier. Let's go with that.
Anyway, I don't like what you like, but you like what you like. That's fine.
Thanks for the approval.
You're
So
welcome.
he kills her, puts her head on a fucking birthday cake, and he says, "I got my cake," and kills everybody. End of that story.
Does
So
he
now
kill
we-
everybody? Does everybody else die?
It's implied.
I mean, it's implied, yeah, it's
Hmm.
ambiguous, but I mean, what else is going to happen? They're not going to sit down and
Yeah.
actually eat the cake.
Seems like he's
I
got
think
some
they're
sort of
gonna-
powers.
He's going to start
where
ripping heads off, personally.
he killed that Harris.
Finally got his cake.
He smashed at Harris real good.
Oh yeah, man. Eddie Harris just lies down in a fucking open ditch like a fucking
He's like,
moron.
Just toss it on. Toss it on.
All
top
right.
of me.
Yeah.
So that one sucked.
you wanna
Let's
just lay here?
go to the next
Okay.
one.
I mean, that one had some cool visuals. That cake thing was pretty cool, and the dead body was fun.
I liked the
like-
dead body part.
Yeah, the
That
dead
was
body was
fun.
cool. That was
That
a
one
fun
was
visual one.
definitely the most comic booky.
I think
Yeah.
the next one's the most comic booky. Actually, the one with Stephen King. That one's just like insanely comic booky to me, just because of the way he does it. And
Yeah, but this one had like the most of those like mats, like cut out mats of him screaming, and then got it into her, and the
True.
show in the past.
yeah, you didn't like that about this either. Like the cool like
I thought
backgrounds they would
that
do.
was
and
the
shit?
worst.
Really? Why don't you just don't like the? It's too unreal for you. It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, I get why they're doing it.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
You just don't care.
I just don't. Yeah,
Pretty much.
All right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't really. I'm not into like the gimmicky shit like that. Like I get again, same. I get what they're going for, but it's like distracting.
I'm not hating. I'm
Well,
just
you sound
saying,
like you're
if I
hating. You sound
I
very
was a
hateful.
kid,
telling you how I feel.
I would probably feel like you feel. Like if I saw this when I was young, I'd probably feel like you feel.
So, guys, have you guys watched the new movie, like Trick or Treat?
No,
What about VHS 1 or 2?
no.
Yeah,
I've
I've
heard
never
good
seen
things.
VHS.
I've never seen either of
I've
those,
heard
but I
it's
hear
good.
those are like really good. I heard those are pretty great. Is VHS good?
I liked it. Yeah, I never saw.
So
the
you
second
like that
but I
one?
heard
So is it because it's newer and more update that you think it's better?
probably
The fact that
yeah.
this is an anthology doesn't make
the
it
anthology
not
has
good.
nothing to do with my liking or disliking of the movie.
It's the
I like
satiricalness of
anthology
it.
movies.
You
It's
just don't like the satiricalness.
yeah. It's just a little too old. It's just old. It's outdated. That's all it is. It's outdated.
Okay.
I liked it for what it was, but I mean, whatever. Let's talk about the next one. The
All right, the
first
next
one.
one-
You didn't really sell the first one good, so let's see if the second one was better.
Well, this is the thing. Like what happens in these things happens. They're just very straightforward. Like you have to, like to get across what these are. It's like you got to kind of know. Like I don't know how we're gonna describe any better of like what to expect. They're generic horror stories that are told in like fun ways. Like there's not. This isn't like you're not watching this movie because you want to see a great script, or you're not watching this movie because you want to see like Daniel Day-Lewis. You're watching this movie because it's fun. You're watching this movie because it's just entertaining and you can have a good time and laugh and jump a little bit and be like, oh, you know what I mean, that's what these are about.
I only watched it because you made me.
Yeah, you
Hey,
made us watch
or
it.
you
Now
made it 'cause you watch
convince
it.
us. Convince us that it's good.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you what it's about. You can decide if it's good. or
Yeah,
not. don't
I
care
mean,
what
yeah,
you
I mean,
think
we don't
about
have
it.
time to flush everything out. Anyway, it's like
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you
fully
about
go in
what
depth
the
of
rest
5
of them
different
are
short
about.
films.
Break it down. Tell us.
Yeah,
Tell us
they're
if
all
it's good
pretty
or not.
straightforward.
Why do we like? Why do we need to like this?
So first one sucked. We're all in agreement.
No, I like the first one.
All right, Schwartz liked it. Anthony, you think it sucked?
It's definitely on the bottom of the
It's
5.
Two
Really,
sucks.
you like the bug one better?
We got 2 sucks and a good.
I said in the bottom. I didn't say the bottom.
All right. So the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill is what the next one's called. Jordy Verrill is played by Stephen King, who just plays him like Gomer Pyle if he wasn't joining up in the fucking army at the moment. You know what I mean? He's just at home chilling.
Like a way over the top GP.
And he's just this. He's like Davidson if Davidson didn't discover reality TV kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like he's just this guy he's just a dumb dumb. Anyway, so he's chilling at home
Damn,
one night.
shout
or-
out to
well,
Davidson.
Well, what do you see? What do you see?
And
Though? What do
Davidson,
you
just
see
know that
first?
me and Jake didn't say that.
Yeah, Jesus.
They
Look,
think
alienating one of our like 30
listeners.
listeners here, Schwartz.
He loves it. He'll come back for more. He'll listen to the after show if we posted it.
After show. We got after shows now?
If we posted one, we would. So Jordy needs money to pay off a bank loan, and he thinks that the fact that he saw a meteorite crash into the fucking backyard, that he's gonna use this money to get this bank loan
I
because he's gonna
love the
sell this
flash,
meteorite.
like, or his like his imagination, like flash forward
When he sees
imagination.
things, yeah.
He goes in there and it just says like Institute of Meteors or something. He's like, I'm gonna go sell it for $300.
It was 200 bucks.
$200.
His fantasy's $200.
All I need is $200. Doesn't someone offer him 1,000? And he's like, nope, just need 200.
I don't know. Did it? I don't think so. Yeah, the guy was like 50, and he's like, nope.
I know the worth of this
75.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Mama Vero didn't raise no idiot.
Basically, he just needs $200 for a bank loan, and he thinks that this is gonna get him it. And yo, you know what I thought was hilarious? When he decides he's gonna go throw cold water on it and it explodes, reminded me when we were in Germany and the van was going down the fucking like the steep hills, and it was like the brakes were on fire, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna throw cold water on this. You're like, why would you do that? I was like, I just want to see it sizzle.
Pretty sure it exploded the brake rotors.
No, it didn't, but like it could have. Like it didn't. But that was insane. Jake, the fucking brake rotors were literally like on fire because it was like a sprinter van, and we were going like down like this, but like turning for like 20 minutes, and they were just riding the brakes, bro. It was crazy.
You gotta pump the brakes, dude. You gotta pump.
They were literally on fire, bro. Youre was driving, I remember.
Yeah.
That was
you don't know how to
crazy.
drive.
I wasn't driving.
That was awesome.
That was
So anyway,
dangerous.
So Stephen
Car was on
King's
fire.
Jordy goes out there, and let's keep in mind, just as through his song, he's just a fucking idiot. He's just a dumbass, and he talks like a
Stephen
dumbass.
King?
He acts like a dumbass. Jordy, Stephen King's character, and so he throws cold water on this fucking meteorite,
It cracks in half.
He cracks it, and all this blue shit comes out, and he dumps it in the ground. And then he realizes that he's got it all over his hands, and like an idiot, just like wipes it on himself, and he's like, "All right, I'm undone. I'm gonna go back to drinking a beer." Drinks a beer, and he looks at his fingers, and he's got like grass growing out of his fingers. And at the same time, they cut back to outside, and the whole outside is turning green. It's just grass growing anywhere at a furious pace.
He has another vision though of going into the thing now. He goes back to the Meteor Institute now with a cracked thing, and they're like, "Why would you bring us this? It's fucking broken. You're the dumbest person in the world." And he was just like, "Ah, shucks." Those are my favorite part of those. Of that
it was pretty great. Yeah.
But now he's growing moss.
Yeah, he's just basically got grass growing out of him, dude. He's just a fucking grass guy. And it gets worse and worse. And basically to end it, he just becomes like a grass man.
One with the grass, dude.
Fully covered from head to toe in grass, man.
What a
and then he tries to
hole.
like take a bath. He knows he can't take a bath, but he does.
Oh, doesn't he have like a vision of somebody telling him not to take a bath?
His dad's like,
definitely don't take a bath, dude.
Yeah.
And then because that's what it wants. It wants the water. It needs the water.
Yeah.
And then boom.
He gets it, and if he's like, "Oh my god, it feels so good. It feels so good." And then
because it was
cut
itching.
cut to like however long later, and his whole house is covered, everything's covered. He's watching a newscast about how like it's gonna be a vibrant spring and everything's gonna be green and it's gonna take over. And then you see him, it cuts to him, and he's fucking a giant grass man from head to toe. And what he's saying is pretty crazy. I when I watched it today, he's like, "God, please just one time have luck be on my side. Please just one time." And you see him pick up a shotgun and he sticks it to where
because the whole time he keeps talking about how he's got bad luck and his family has bad luck and everything. That's why it like broke in half, and he's like, "Well, that's just my luck. I'm so bad luck."
Yeah.
So he was afraid he was gonna like blow half his face off and still be alive.
Yep. That's why I kept saying that. And then he blew his brains out. That was pretty great. I liked that one.
Best one, dude.
That was your favorite one?
That was.
Really? And that was your least favorite one, Anthony?
I don't know. Talking about it made it a little funnier. So.
Oh yeah, it's definitely funnier.
It was just so stupid, you know. Which is why I was just like, this is so fucking stupid. It's just fucking, and I hate, and I'm not a big fan of him, acting, and I don't know. And he wrote this in a week, which makes me mad.
His kid is the kid from the beginning. In the end.
Yeah.
Also a writer, right?
Yeah. Takes a different name.
Todd
Not
King.
Smith. Or not King. No, it's not King. I think
Hill.
it's like something Smith. He takes a different
Hill.
name.
Joe Hill.
Billy
Joe
Hill.
Joe Hill.
Todd Hill. Smith.
Joseph Hill.
All
Jimothy
right.
Hill.
Well, that was a good one.
Okay. That was a fun one. So the next one's my favorite one, which is entitled Something to Tide You Over.
I thought I was growing in the grass once.
Really? That's good.
Yeah. What happened? Too many mushrooms?
Wasn't mushrooms. It was something else. It was some other stuff.
LSD.
I was at Bonnaroo. Yeah, it was a couple days worth of LSD, and then I took some ecstasy,
Nice.
and then I
Yeah,
smoked
dude.
some hash,
Oh shit, we've
And
been
then-
there.
and then I sat on the ground, and I thought I was in the ground.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like we just
You-
were together.
You were in the ground, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Good
That's nice.
times,
What's
yeah.
that movie where what's her name becomes a plant?
Annihilation.
That's the one.
It's a great one.
Yeah,
That's the one.
good times. Good
Oh,
times being a
that's such
plant,
a dope
dude.
movie.
That movie's pretty wild.
It's a great movie. I want to do that director, but his last movie kind of sucked. We've seen all his other ones.
And I'm not just into
Men
Annihilation.
was all right. Yeah, it was,
Men disappointed the shit out of
it's
me.
fucking weird as fuck.
It just didn't. Nothing happened. Nothing really happened.
Yeah, it'd be worth talking about, but it would be. Or I don't know if it would.
I don't think it would. I almost picked it. I was
Bizarre.
planning on picking it, but then I watched it and I was like, "There's no way I'm picking this."
Have you seen Men yet, Anthony?
I have not seen Men.
He's got a new
Sounds-
one coming out called Annihilation. That's supposed to be pretty good. So not Annihilation.
You already did an
No,
Annihilation.
no. It's called like Cold War. I'm sorry, Cold War. It's supposed to be. It's with Kirsten Dunst. So I'm gonna definitely pick that when it comes out.
All right. Horror or just something else?
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, he's known. He
Something-
got big. He got famous, Alex Garland, for writing 28 Days Later movies and writing The Beach. Like those were his big movies.
Yeah,
as a
I like
writer.
it. I like his stuff.
Beach was
Yeah.
good.
I mean, Ex Machina is his best movie in my opinion, but
That's a good movie.
yeah, Annihilation's probably second.
Both got
He's
that
only
dude in
directed
it.
3. He's only directed 3, which is Ex Machina, Annihilation,
Yeah.
and Men. But he wrote the other ones.
Yeah, I loved Annihilation.
Yeah, Annihilation. Dude, we saw it in the theater. Remember? That was
Yeah, I saw it a couple times. Yeah, it's a great movie.
that bear scene is pretty wild.
Mind blower.
Yeah, very
Something to
Lovecraftian.
tide you over.
So yeah, God, this guy's a
It's-
real buzzkill over here. Is Anthony guy?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Move on.
How many times are we gonna say this? Yeah, I loved Annihilation. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we saw it in the theaters. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
This is a conversation
Alright,
about
yeah, yeah.
movies, and we're talking about movies.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
shut
yeah.
up.
Oh,
We'll
so
talk
good.
about this
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
if you want. All right.
All right, yeah,
Talk
yeah,
about
it was
it.
so good. Yeah, yeah, that's gonna keep our fucking viewership high. Yeah, it was really good.
Whatever.
Annihilation was really good.
All right, you're right. You're right. So talk about it then. Go ahead.
This is the one starring the guy from Cheers,
Ted Danson.
Young Ted Danson. He's probably our age
And-
here.
funny
obviously
man
1982.
Leslie Nielsen, who I guess I guess he's not always been like funny guy. He was like serious guy for a while.
No, I think he was always
Huh?
funny guy, and he never really did.
No,
serious
I'm
guy.
telling you this. He was a serious guy for a long time until
you
about like
sure?
2 years before this, when he did
Ooh.
not
Naked Weapon.
Naked
Gun.
Maybe it was the Naked Gun. I think it was the Naked Gun, one of those. But then he started doing all those crazy movies. But yeah,
Mhm.
apparently he was like serious. He did a lot of serious stuff before this.
I think I've heard this.
He was in 260 things.
Damn.
None of them were serious.
All hilarious.
But I mean, yeah, I only know him as funny guy Leslie
Yeah.
Nielsen.
Airplane, shit like that.
Airplane. I think that came out like 2 years before this.
Yeah, that was
Naked
like
Gun's
79
pretty
or
good
80.
too. Naked
Yeah.
Gun's fun. So anyway, yeah, he plays the sinister millionaire husband of the
Well,
dude.
Ted Danson's fucking his wife, dude.
Yeah, Ted. Well, I'm saying Ted
What-
Danson's
what would you
banging this
do?
Dude's wife. Oh,
I would
mean,
do that same shit.
This is pretty vindictive.
Well,
I love every second of it. I love
I
everything
think-
that he does.
I don't think this is the first time this guy's done this though. You think?
I don't. I mean, I doubt it. I doubt this guy's the kind of guy who like has a snuff film in his safe. You know what I mean? Like
There's
one
a
he
lot
made.
of plan. He has a lot.
Well, yeah,
of them.
it had a similar ending as like Creeped, right? He like put the tape in on a shelf,
Yeah.
didn't he? Yeah, he had the yeah. Tapes, shelves,
Creep.
creep.
There's a monster in Creep, right?
No.
No, just a werewolf mask. Peach fuzz.
That's right.
Okay, so Leslie Nielsen plays Richard Vickers, this multi-billionaire fucking dude who finds out his wife's having an affair with a younger dude named
Ted Danson.
Harry, played by Ted Danson, and he
Where
basically says
everybody knows your name.
he basically says, "Yo, I got the bitch. I know what's up. I need you to come with me, and otherwise, I'm gonna hurt her." So he ends up getting
Talking
in the
about
fucking
his
car
wife.
with them. Talking about his wife, yes. Gets in the car with him. He takes him to the fucking beach, and he shows him like a fucking shovel and big pile of sand. And he goes, "Go look, she's in there," and she ends up not being in there. And then he says, "Turn around," and then he's got a gun to his back. And he says, "Yo, jump in this fucking hole," and the hole's probably like 4 foot deep, 5 foot deep. And he basically
It's a
says,
human-sized hole.
"Bury yourself, kneel down and bury yourself." And at that point, it's like, fuck, like, what do you do at that point? I mean, he hesitates a little bit and tries to call his bluff, but
What do
then
you
he,
do? What do you do at that point?
I mean, I don't think I'd want to. I mean, do you risk? Because I would think about the tide. So I'm like, I'm going to drown, or you're going to shoot me. I think I'd rather like try to fight off and die that way. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm going to bury myself.
Yeah, I'm definitely not burying myself.
No way. I'm not voluntarily doing that. You got to shoot
I'm not
me,
voluntarily being tortured.
dude. Yeah.
I'd rather
Thinking about that tide come in does not sound fun.
I'd jump out of the hole and start zigzagging, start running away, zigzagging. You know, you gotta hope Leslie Nielsen's a good shot. Serpentine.
Hits you every time.
God damn it.
So yeah, so he tells him to get in the hole,
but that's not what Ted Danson does. Ted Danson starts burying himself. And he keeps saying, he's like, apparently Ted Danson loves this lady more than he loves than Nielsen loves him, because he kept saying, you know, if you do this, then you'll get to see her again. You keep doing this, you get to see her again. I'm a man of my word. I just could not take Leslie Nielsen seriously because I know him as a funny man.
I don't know. I thought he was great.
Wasn't he supposed to be funny? This was sort of like,
It was just kind of funny, yeah.
I was laughing the whole time thinking he was supposed to be funny, but maybe he wasn't supposed to be funny. This was
I think he's
bad.
We
supposed
were
to be a
watching
little
this
funny.
movie just like
Hilarious. I don't know. He was campy, so it worked.
Word.
Yeah.
So he makes him get in the hole, he buries him, and then at this point it cuts to him being buried from basically the neck down. And he tells him at this point that he's gonna bounce, he'll be back. And he's like, "Get me out of here, fucking get me out of here." He's like, "Bro, I'm not getting you out of here. I know what's going on."
Dude goes to Radio Shack, buys about 8 miles of line of fucking
this is the part I loved, is that he came back with all that cable. Like, he's driving up and out of the back of the fucking out of the back of the Jeep, all the cables just spooling out. I'm like, this guy's like a G with this. He knows the exact distance he can go. Like, this guy's done this before.
He's definitely done this before.
He stops. He has a VCR and he has a fucking. I really loved this one. This is like, if I was gonna make a short film for an anthology, this would be something I would love to do. Like, something like this would be cool. Anyway, long story short, he has a TV that he shows him, and it's his wife who is further down the beach. She's fucking in a hole, and the tide's already coming up over there. She lost a coin flip that made her be buried at a different location where the tide was going to come in first. That's what he tells him. And she's getting water.
Yeah, the water's already up to her.
Water's already up here. He's watching her drown, and he knows what's up, and he's talking shit to him, and he's like, "Fuck you, you banged my wife, all this shit." And then he bounces.
And he says, "I'm recording this shit. I want to keep it for later."
All along Leslie Nielsen's house, like, even when they drive in and even when he drives out, you see that there's cameras and they're recording a lot of things. Like, all the movement at the house is definitely being recorded. All the rooms have cameras in them.
And he's got a link to the beach.
Yeah. What do you mean, like a video link? Yeah.
Yeah, he's watching it from his house.
Mm-hmm.
He's watching them drown from his house. So
when
apparently he laid all that wire back to his house too.
When he looks up at the camera and says, "I'm gonna get you," he's into the camera as he's watching him. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, not that we need to fucking point out. I need it to be super realistic, but he was like, "You can watch my wife die up until the TV shorts out from the water, But there was a camera there. Did they have they have GoPros back then? They have some waterproof housings for a camera that was filming him the whole time, including under the water when he was fully engulfed.
I mean, it's a movie, dude.
You're right. This movie was bullshit.
This movie was bullshit, dude.
The
And we
tech
never
doesn't
saw him
fucking
set that
work.
camera up.
I mean, what if it was just the camera he put there on like a 12-foot fucking
Fire
pole,
at
you
it.
know?
We
Planned
never
out.
saw him set that up, dude. I need to
Plan
see
in
that
advance.
set
We
up.
don't have to see it. It's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
take a long
pre-production,
time to
bro.
see every single
We already-
stage.
It was already a long thing, so might as well show us what's going on.
So this part got you already? Like, how'd you feel about the water zombies attacking them later? Like, that was pretty
dumb.
unrealistic too.
That was just dumb. That was a dumb way to end it. I think this was it was
I
like
actually,
a kind of
I
a cool.
actually agree. I thought I liked the whole just kill them.
It was a fun story, but I mean, I don't know. What I would have loved is so the guy continue. He buries him. He leaves. The water comes up, and like the last shot, Ted Danson is just like, boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, that's a
And
great
he
shot.
dies.
I love that shot.
Yeah.
And he dies, and then later that night, later that day or whenever hours later
Yeah,
after he
it's
knows
probably
the
like the
tide went
next
down,
day. I was thinking,
he goes out there and
and this is
goes to
all his
retrieve
beach,
shit.
I guess. It's like a private beach that he.
Well, he says
owns.
that when Ted Danson screams and looking for help, he's like, I own like 13 miles of this shit, or the fuck he said. He's like, I own this. He said the name of the beach and that he owned it.
That's also pretty cool. Like to own so much land, you could just fucking kill people on it. You could just play with people on it.
Yeah, it's like that
And
dude
by
in
play
Alaska.
with, I mean kill.
You ever hear about that serial killer in Alaska who owned like this huge thing of land and like he would like hunt people like Dangerous Game style? They
Right.
made a movie about it with John Cusack.
That's
No, I didn't know about that.
I hate John Cusack.
Do you hate John Cusack?
Maybe I don't.
I like John Cusack.
I think we've had this conversation. I said it, and you were like,
I've
"What about
mixed-
this movie?"
I've
And I was just
mixed
like,
opinions
"Nah, I
on
love that
John
movie. What about this
Cusack.
movie? Nah, I like that movie too."
I mean, in Con Air, he's pretty great. High Fidelity, Gross Point Blank.
Yes. Back to the movie. Fuck Cusack.
So
this guy was murking people. He was like hunting people with guns, or was he like
Yeah.
bow and arrowing him? And would he
I
give
think
them
it was-
weapons?
I think it was different every time.
Did he
You
let
gotta,
him?
you gotta look it up. Look it up. Just look
Did
up
he let 'em
Alaskan serial
loose?
killer. Yeah, he would let them loose. Like he owned like miles of land.
It's great. In Alaska, you could just do that.
Yep. He did it for like 20 years.
It's great. Good for him. H.H. Holmes. He was the first.
Yeah. The House of Horrors.
That's what they used to call your mom's house.
All right, so
In 1982, when this movie came out.
so Ted Danson dies, this dude's wife dies, and they end up coming back as zombies and haunting him. Like I thought that was cool parts because like it really was eerie the way they shot that. I thought, and he didn't expect it. It was kind of fun. And then they come in, they're zombies, and it was cool because like they showed it on the video screens on the surveillance screens, and like the smoke just billowed in the house like fakely as hell. And then they walked in like, oh,
And he was
that's
like,
fun,
"What
man."
in the hell is going on?" He walks out, and they're out there.
Yeah,
And then he shoots them, and like water comes out. Dumb.
Very
I hated
fun,
that.
very
What I
fun.
would have loved is if instead, when he went out and he was like, and he checked the wire, and the wire was all busted, and he was like, "Oh, I think he got out. Maybe he definitely, or he definitely drowned. This was just a tide. Yeah, he definitely drowned." Like I was like, it'd be sick if he didn't. If he like made it out. If he like did hold his breath for long enough to do something to like kick out of the water or whatever, kick out of the dirt when the tide was over.
So
him.
no zombie Ted Danson.
Yeah, and then he came back as real, and then he just did the same thing, but like as the person.
Okay.
That's the way to go.
That's not what happens. Because I don't think
And then
you
he
can get out of
fucks
that.
his dead wife's head.
Jesus. Jeez.
What? It's already dark.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. I would have been like, all right. That's a lot, but I appreciate this.
Bold move.
Bold move, Kai.
Bold decision, Mr. Romero. Hey, Steven, I got one more idea for the end of this.
So, yeah, they kill Leslie Nielsen, I guess, and he starts having a screaming fit, which or a laughing fit when they're coming in, which I thought that was cool with the cool red backgrounds and the weird zany like colors and lights. Like
Yeah,
I
they
know
did
you
that
hate
on
that,
every
but
one, which
that was fun. This was the one where it stood
consistent.
out the most to me, though. I don't know why. I think it's because of the way he was laughing, like hysterically, like that. It's just like the one that I'll always remember with that light.
Yeah. But even in the
was pretty
first
crazy.
one, same with the first one when he came out with the cake, like the lights all changed very specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was cool. That was consistent. Which one was this again? What are we talking about again?
This was
Oh yeah,
the
and then the
long-
very last line: "I can hold my breath for hours."
Oh yeah, so that's what ends up happening, right? They don't kill him; he ends up getting buried like they did. And
Yeah, they
he's gonna
bury him.
Get the same
Yeah,
fate,
which was kind of predictable, but I don't know.
Mhm.
It was good. It was decent.
The next one is the one you guys love so much, called The Crate, which is the
Great.
Lovecraftian one, the one that's very monster movie-ish. I mean, I will agree that because it's the longest one and it doesn't have one of the stronger scripts, it's kind of sucks because
Is it
you wanted
about
something a little
a
stronger.
monster or is it about a crazy bitch wife?
I think they're both monsters in their own way, is what it is.
Ooh,
Of
What?
domestic abuse.
Different
Wait,
types of monsters,
Wait,
bro.
what?
Come on, dude.
Symbolism for domestic violence.
Go
The
on.
lighting in your room right now, Jake, you look like you're just like head of like a gang.
Yeah, you look like
White
you
guys.
you look like you have a Russian accent for sure.
You're like the enemy of Spiderman's arch nemesis.
You like this? I like Tarantino. What can
If
I
I want
say?
to splash the pot, I'll splash the pot.
I like
One
when
of the
he cuts off the
players on
ear.
that poker tournament that we worked on, Anthony, had that shirt on of John Malkovich.
Did
One of the
he?
other players that came, it had a John Malkovich, and it had him going like this, and it said "splash the pot." That was pretty great. No, that's funny.
All right.
Good times.
Next
good
story.
times. So the next story is about a janitor at, I guess it's like a college or some sort of graduate school, and he's cleaning and he's flipping a coin, and the coin goes behind a fucking staircase that's got like a fence thing in front of it that apparently hasn't been moved since 1864, we find out. And he sees a crate on the inside of it, and he goes and calls what become our main characters, which is one of the teachers there who works at the school, and his friend who has a wife who's a drunk fucking asshole and treats him like garbage. And that's really what this is about. It's about a guy who's got a friend whose wife treats him like garbage, and you just see her demean him, and
And
are
all the
like,
while
"Damn,"
he has these fantasies where he
of killing
kills her
yeah.
in certain ways. He shoots her
Shoots her. Yep.
at the club, and she's like just class A bitch. She just berates him.
She's drunk all the
She
time.
tells
She's
him
supposed to be a drunk asshole.
seems like she's drunk all the time.
Yeah.
She's she says he has a little dick.
You know who that lady is in real life at that moment? That's John Carpenter's wife.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she's really like that.
Well, not from the documentary. It seems like she was. She's like, I never even really drank, and like, I really don't like blood, so I didn't really want to do this movie. And then John Carpenter's was like, no, you gotta do this movie. George's good dude. You gotta do this movie. And she's like, all right, cool.
Well, she was great at being terrible.
She was awesome. Yeah.
And the first fantasy is like him shooting her in the at the party at like a barbecue, and everyone like, and she's also like annoying everyone. Obviously, she's always telling people to call her Tony, and she
she's like, I will hook you up with the best of everything. I know everything, or everything is. I do.
Yeah.
Everything. She's like a rich woman who just lives the life.
Calling people ugly. She's like telling in like subtle ways, telling like, I'll get you like a better dress shop, you know. And when he shoots her, everyone just kind of claps and they're just like, nice shot. That was great. Good job. Like, I love that. But yeah. So all the while, his friend is helping the janitor open this crate.
So they see a crate, and on the crate, like I said earlier, it says 1864 Arctic expedition to Jennifer Carpenter, she gave to Jennifer Carpenter. And they talk about that, and in the dialogue he even says like what could this be from an expedition from there? And he even says, oh, it's like almost 67 years ago, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, back then it was like only 20 years ago.
No, it was way longer than that. 1864, and this was 1972, so it was like a long time.
1834.
1834.
Horrocks University via Julie Carpenter. Arctic Expedition, June 19th, 1834.
Yeah. And then what's crazy to me is that this thing didn't make a sound under there for like 100 years or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, was that crazy to you? You were like,
Yeah,
oh, damn.
I was like,
Doesn't seem realistic.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Anyway, they get it out and they open the fucking crate, and it's the big ordeal. Like, what's in the crate? And the way they shoot it, it's all mysterious. And
like,
it ends up
"I'll
being
get
a
my
fucking.
chisel."
It ends up being a fucking abominable snowman stepchild
/werewolf.
/ like troll who fucking eats people with a werewolf fucking mouth. He's got a werewolf underbite. That's about it, but that's the werewolf part of it. He's got claws too, but I think abominable snowman has claws. So,
all right, looking at pictures, I'll give you abominable.
So basically what happens is, long story short, this dude decides he's going to kill his bitch wife using this monster because it'll give him a way to do it without having to do it and hopefully not get caught.
Really genius.
Pretty great. Yeah, great. That's great
idea. He's been fantasizing about it this whole time, and now he's got his chance.
So he gets her there by telling her that like there's a bunch of drama with this guy and he's been banging a student.
Hold on. This
like,
thing's already killed like 6 people, I think, right?
So the thing killed the janitor,
yeah,
one of the other co-workers of the place. So it's
not his friend.
People.
What happened to his friend? His friend
he went to his house to tell him about it, and then he tied him up.
That's right. That's right. And that's where he got the idea. That's when he got the idea.
Yeah. Drugged him to get him to sleep.
He hatched the plan.
He goes there, leaves a note, and says, "Yo, there's a lot of drama going on. This dude who's his friend was banging his students, and now we have to help him clean up the mess." And she's like, "Oh, the tea! I want all the fucking tea. I'll fucking get there and save the day." He's
basically like, this guy. From what I got right away, it was like, "Yo, this guy just killed a fucking hooker or a student. So can you come help me clean this up?"
She was all about it. Yeah, she was all about it. She's a terrible person.
They're all terrible people.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, at least they're both terrible people. They're both monsters.
So long story short, again,
he knows this thing's hungry,
but this thing ends up eating her, and
he gets her there, and he's like he lures her in, and then he's like, "Yeah, the girl's underneath the stairs there," and she's like, "Ain't nobody underneath the fucking stairs," and he's like, "Fuck you, bitch," and kicks her in and tries to lock the door, and he's like, wake up, and it doesn't wake up, and she's like, "You're a fucking idiot. I'm out of here. I'm going home. I'm tired." And then finally it wakes up and it swallows her whole.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
That was pretty good.
She deserved it.
And he goes like this, nice.
and then he goes home. How does he get it back in the crate?
He just locks. It goes back in the crate, and then he carefully throws the lock on the chain.
Yeah.
And then drives it somewhere. Throws it in the water. Buries it in a quarry.
Yeah, throws in the water. And then he tells the dude the next day who he drugged, he's like, "Listen, no one knows about this but me and you. We're going to keep it on the hush-hush."
Yeah, he's like, "What are you going to say?" And the guy's like, nothing. He was like, "That's right. You ain't going to say shit."
And then he's like, "How do you know I did already say something?" And he's like, "Because you didn't." And then it's like agreed upon that they would keep the secret. And
so basically,
like, this guy's
crate. This guy's a monster. Then now he just wants to kill people. This guy's going to start killing people. Merkin.
Maybe. I don't know about that, but he got the bitch out of his life that he needed to get out of his life.
I think he is a murderer and he has a taste for blood now, and that's what he. At the very end, he was like, "You're not gonna say anything, are you?" And the guy was like, "No." He was scared of him.
All right, I'm down with that.
Taking care of shit.
That guy kills people. I'm down. Let's do it.
He's a murker.
He's a murker.
Marka. Yeah. And the monster gets out.
Monster busts out at the end.
The monster gets out, much like the monster inside of him is released.
Oh, shit. He's a murker now.
He's a murker. Jake, opinions?
Yeah, Jake, what do you feel about like all this stuff? Why don't you give us like a 10-minute tirade to catch up?
It's all right. It's fine.
Nice.
All right.
Sick.
No, I mean that whole thing. Like, how do I feel about the? I thought the thing looked cool at first, but that story kind of rambled on for a little while.
I thought it was
was
cool. Tom Savini's first fully animatronic creature, so that's fun.
yes. Did a lot of blood and guts and gore before that.
I liked the creature parts.
All the From Dusk Till Dawn vampires were designed by him and Robert Rodriguez.
I see the connection now.
Yeah.
The faces and the
Yeah.
monster face.
And
See
the
it.
dick gun.
I guarantee you that was a Tarantino thing, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Tom made the dick gun though.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he did actually. Yeah. Let's not forget, I guess if we're going to talk about that in general of working on that movie and working together, he also works with these two other guys named Robert Kurtzman and this other dude who went on to like create Walking Dead with what's his fucking name? The dude directed Shawshank. But anyway, but they
Frank
do all
Darabont?
this shit with him. Frank Darabont, yeah.
Frank Darabont
Oh.
did Walking Dead.
He's directed
First
the
season.
pilot. He directed the pilot episode and basically developed it for television. He was the showrunner, and then after the first season,
shit.
he left.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
That. No wonder
If
the
it
first
wasn't for
season
him,
was
it
so
wouldn't
good.
have been a show. Yeah, yeah. Frank Darabont's pretty great, man. You know what I've seen that everybody doesn't really talk about in his movies is The Majestic. You ever see The Majestic? With
Yeah,
fucking
Jim Carrey.
You guys like that movie?
Movie theater.
It's all right.
Did you guys see Sam
Jim-
Mendes'
Jim
movie theater
Carrey's
movie?
a sad boy in that movie.
Did you guys see Empire of Light?
Empire Light was pretty good.
No,
It was all right. It was all right.
Deakins, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Sam Mendes.
They do good stuff.
Yeah,
they do.
it looked great for sure.
But I mean, it's Deakins. You know it's gonna look great.
Yeah.
He's got
All right,
a lot
I
of
liked
lights.
it. I liked it for what it was.
The last
Simple.
one is They're Creeping Up on You, which is my least favorite one, and I don't even know if they're. I don't even know if there is a plot besides for it's about this crazy fucked up old rich guy who is like what's the word for the phobia he has? It's like he's
Douchebag?
Agoraphobia.
is it agoraphobic? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
when you're afraid to
but he's also
outside.
like gets a phone call about how like one of his workers' wives calls him and she's like, "You made my husband fucking kill himself, and it's all your fault."
Because
and you're
something
a terrible
happened.
Person.
He's like a crazy stock trader or something, and
Yeah,
a lot of stocks went down, or something that he did caused stock to go down. And we early on, a secretary comes in and is like, "Sir, you're just want to let you know that your fucking friend killed himself because he lost all the money." And he just goes, "Good. That means we don't have to give him a bonus." So I mean, this guy's just a class A scum of the earth,
fucking Ebenezer Scrooge.
full blown Scrooge, and a little racist. I picked up little.
Yeah. So the dude who's
Yeah,
trying to
some
like
shit.
get him his food or give him something is this like
Mr.
black dude,
White.
and he's treating him like shit. Yeah. Tell him not to talk to him like that and shit. Yeah, this guy sucks. He's the epitome of
What did he
suckiness.
say? He said something that when he was the guy came up to the door and he was like, he goes, you people, I see you people do good in the service industry.
Service industry, yeah.
And then in your head you're like, oh no, that was fucking kind of racist. And then he goes, yeah, you colored people. It's like, whoa, I mean, you didn't have to say it, dude.
Well, I think that's the satiricalness is that they're gonna also throw it out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's over the top.
I was just like, whoa, you got your point across, my friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this one, like he's just, this one's like unnecessarily vulgar. He just, every other word's fuck shit. Like, not that I'm against cursing, but it was like noticeably, like, did they just not reach the R rating yet, and they needed to hit a couple F bombs in this one?
I don't know. I think it was just trying to paint a different picture of like a bad thing, like a person who was just is just a terrible person, and his fears end up like taking over and like getting him. You know what I mean?
Side note: did Kubrick make his fucking apartment?
I don't know.
Like, what's going
I
on?
can see that, though, yeah.
What is this kind of futuristic, Clockwork Orange-esque office building he's living in? His $3,200 penthouse apartment.
Yeah,
I was thinking for a minute that
72.
he was like in a mental hospital, and like part of it was like he was imagining it.
Yeah,
I think
could've seen that.
when the dude came to the door to talk to him, like I was
That's
thinking
not the
maybe
case, though, right?
it did. No, that didn't pan out.
These aren't that deep.
I
No,
didn't
no.
see that at all, but now that you say that, I see it now.
It's like if they would have, there's a lot of things they could have just kind of leaned into on these that they're just so on the surface. They're very surface
Yeah.
level stories.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't.
I mean,
like
they're
that.
literally based on these short stories from the comics, so they don't have time to like, get deep. If they wanted to
Don't
get
have
deep, they would have
time.
done like
Also, he
3
wrote it in a
stories.
fucking week, so
They
there's
should
no
have done like
care given to these stories.
they should have done like 3 stories as opposed to 5. I think that would have been 3 like 40-minuters would have been good, or 3 30-minuters would have been good.
Which ones would you have pulled
Yeah.
out?
I would have
This
pulled
one.
out this one and the Stephen King one. Probably I would have done the crate, the ones with the heads, and the first one.
It's fair. I mean, the Stephen King one I enjoyed the most, but
Well, if you
maybe,
can-
or
if
I
you
would
can
have pulled
still-
Father's Day, maybe.
You guys
If you can
like
still
the Stephen
have-
King one?
If you can still
thought
have
it
a
was funny.
prologue, maybe change the prologue to Stephen King's one somehow and have that in it.
Well, the
Something
prologue
like that,
had
I
to
don't
be
know.
the comic book thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. Another movie I thought of about this when they were doing the comic book things. You guys ever watch The Page Master?
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
That's a cool fucking movie.
I
We
don't
should watch
remember-
that.
I don't
man.
remember that
I've
one.
seen
Oh, we
that
should
movie
watch that shit.
100 times.
That's a great movie. I think we should watch that on here. I need
You've
to see
never
that
seen
again.
it, Jake?
I don't really know. I feel like I have, but I
It's
don't
good,
recall.
dude. I've seen it like probably like 10 years ago, maybe, or 20 years
Was
ago.
like
Oh,
I've seen it,
Macaulay
like-
Culkin in it or some
Yeah,
shit?
yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it probably like
Macaulay
7 or 8
Culkin,
times. but
Whoopi
it's been that long.
Goldberg,
Christopher Lloyd,
Christopher Lloyd.
and then there's somebody else.
I definitely
too.
don't
There's
remember
like an
it.
old horror actor that plays the book horror.
Boris Karloff, I think. Boris Karloff.
Is he play
I
horror?
think so. Yeah, I think so.
And then
He played Frankenstein.
There's Adventure, the other book. I can't remember who plays him. That's a
Whoopi
great
Gold-
movie.
That's a great fucking movie. Great fucking
Yeah.
movie. We should watch
can
that.
watch
You
that.
should make us watch that.
I
Anthony.
could say I'm making the us watch that.
Yeah.
But let's keep talking about.
So
This
anyway,
one
yeah. So
creeps
this
up
ends
on
up.
you.
So this
So
dude
he starts
just-
seeing. It starts out with him killing
cockroaches. Yeah.
Like apparently there's a problem.
And like you see his place, and I think it comes into like just fact that like 10 minutes and you're like, well, he's probably just imagining all this. Like this is in his head. Like I think that's pretty evident too.
I didn't think that.
I don't
seeing the
know. That's
cockroaches.
true.
Oh, I did.
Cockroach. I think he was.
I'm
going
still not
crazy.
even
I
100%
wasn't
sure
totally
if that is the case.
Oh, really? You think they were really there?
But he was like,
Based-
this dude's like a neat freak.
Yeah.
He keeps seeing bugs. I immediately knew this was going to end with his apartment being covered in bugs.
I mean, they crawl out of his
Yeah.
dead body.
Yeah, they crawl
That
out
was a
everywhere.
pretty crazy. That was a pretty crazy last scene, and especially how they set it up because they show his body, like,
Yeah.
and they show like
Oh,
things
yeah.
start to happen, and then they cut to like the dummy of him, and
This explodes, right?
it was pretty good. I liked how Mr. Savini did that. This is just Tom Savini having fun. That's what these movies are.
This is all of them having fun for sure.
Ah,
That's what From Dusk Till Dawn is too.
I just see it. I guess I just like what he does. I
For sure,
If
I'm
I was
with
gonna
you.
do one thing on these movies, I'd probably want to do what he's doing.
You know who else Tom Savini plays as a guest role? Is you remember in Zack and Miri Make a Porno, the guy who sells the place that burns down to him, and he plays that guy too. Because that movie was
Yeah.
shot in Pittsburgh.
Shout out to TS.
Yeah,
He's in this movie,
he is in this movie.
but
Where's he
not
in
in
this
this
movie?
one. Not in there creeping up on you.
Where's
So he's
he in?
killing. He's calling Mr. White. Apparently, like the main guy that he usually calls is out on vacation, so that's why Mr.
yeah.
White is here. And Mr. White doesn't really. I mean, he's taking care of shit. It's just not to as fast as. And then the
And-
power goes out.
And he also realizes this guy's a fucking asshole. Like he's giving him a little taste
Yeah.
of his own fucking medicine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
He's not taking his shit.
he's being polite, but he's also being like, okay, Mr. Crazy Guy, I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
Yeah.
Power goes out. Mr. White's stuck in the elevator, and this is where the bugs start to invade.
Yeah, they come in hard. I don't even remember how they come in.
They're
I
coming
hated
in.
this. This one
everywhere.
sucked.
They're
This one
coming-
sucked.
He made like a smoothie, and
Yep.
he was eating the smoothie, and there was one in there. There was some in his like grains.
Yeah, the
They
cereal.
were coming out of the sink. They were coming out of the cereal. They were coming out of the toilet. They were coming out of his trash vacuum situation.
Yeah.
They just kept
and
popping
then,
up.
And then the lady calls him again. I called him earlier about the guy whose wife died, and she's like, "I hope you fucking die. I hope you get cancer. I hope you get all this shit." She calls him again, and then he starts seeing shit under his bed move, and then that's when the cockroaches are over his bed, and I think that's when they like take him over, and like he ends up dying like
And there's
soon
like
after
a
that.
scene where he's talking to someone and he's like, well, tell him to go out and fuck somebody and wear a condom too. Everybody's got herpes.
That guy sucked.
The guy sucked. So yeah, finally Mr. White comes in with the exterminator, or exterminator calls. Mr. White's coming in with the exterminator, but now he's locked in his room. And
Yeah, and he's like dead on the bed with no bugs around him.
no,
and
it's
then-
full of bugs.
No. At this point, it's not full of bugs. And then like you see his shirt and shit start moving,
Yeah.
and then like there's more underneath him, and then it shows him like die, and then they start crawling out of his mouth, and his chest bursts open. And
Yeah.
bugs come out of his head and shit. It's pretty wild.
So you think that was all in his head?
I
mean,
do.
they were in his head.
I don't think he really died. I think that was all fake. But who knows? Who gives
Well,
a fuck?
the
That one
last shot,
sucked.
the last shot was like the whole room full of cockroaches, like a billion
it?
cockroaches.
Word. And then it goes to the epilogue, which continues the little kid who's actually reading it, and this was actually pretty great. So
I heard the cockroach is the most expensive part of this movie.
really.
Yeah, there was like thousands of, like 18,000 cockroaches or some shit.
Yeah, 50 cents a roach.
Damn dog.
Damn dog, dude. All right, go to the epilogue.
Epilogue goes back to the little kid whose dad was treating him like shit, and he's
Well, this is where we see Tom
Doing things.
Savini. We're at we're with the trash men.
well, hold on. So it goes back to that, and then it goes to the trash guys, and they pick up the fucking comic book that he got thrown out, and in the back of it is a voodoo doll. It says "Make your own voodoo doll," and it says "Mail this in for a free version." And he goes, "Oh, somebody already mailed it in," and right there you're like, "Oh, that's pretty interesting." And then he's like, "I love comics, blah blah blah," and then they have a whole thing about that, and it cuts back into the house where the dad's sitting there. He's like, "Where's Tommy?" The mom's like, "Oh, he's upstairs getting ready. You know, he'll be down in a minute." He's like, "Get him the fuck down here!" And then he cuts to Tommy upstairs, and he's got the voodoo doll, and he's sticking it in this fucking thing. And
Yeah,
his dad
the dad's
downstairs starts
the dad's
dying.
like, "Oh, my neck's killing me," and then you see the
Mhm.
kid just
Mhm.
stabbing.
Ends up the dad just probably just dies, and that's how the movie ends.
Does he die? We don't. I mean,
I mean,
Yeah.
I think he
sure.
does.
Let's. He fucking dies.
Cool.
They definitely don't. They definitely don't go to counseling and get better 10 years later. It's not a Creep Show 2. Creep Show 2 was directed by another person with only 3 stories.
Yeah, but I heard. I think one of them was supposed to be in this one. There's one.
George Romero
like
wrote the
hitchhiker.
screenplays. Yeah, George Romero. Stephen King was in The Hitchhiker, and George Romero wrote the screenplay for the movie.
Are you sure
Yeah.
it was only 3? Because this is what you said when this one.
No, this one.
The
That one's
Hitchhiker
only 3. That one's only
was-
3 for sure.
The hitchhiker was slated to be in this one, but they didn't have room for it.
Ran out of monies.
Yeah, man, this was fun. If you haven't seen
$8
Tales from
million,
the Hood,
$8 million.
if you want to see Tales from the Hood, you should see. If you want to see another great anthology movie, watch Tales from the Hood. It's fucking great. And I want to watch the one we talked
like
about.
your
I'm
your
definitely gonna watch
apologize for
that.
this movie is you should watch a different movie.
No,
VHS.
I love this movie, and I'm glad you guys got to see this movie. But I'm saying if you liked this movie or you're even interested, you should watch Tales from the Hood. That's the first one I ever saw. That was a funny one. That was a fun one. Also very satirical, but it's got some cool shit in it. And Clarence Williams III is great as the quote unquote cripper.
C-Dub
creeper.
3?
Yeah, you guys know who that is, right? He's in American Gangster. He plays Bumpy Johnson, the guy that Denzel Washington worked for originally. That guy, but when he was younger, when he was like
Oh, Bumpy?
younger, he plays
Oh,
the
Bumpy.
Cripper. Yeah,
True
Bumpy
story.
Johnson.
Bumpy was a
Yes,
good guy.
it is. Yes.
Okay.
So that's
Cool, so go watch Tales from the Hood.
let's
Thanks for
rate this movie. What do you guys rate this movie?
And
1 to
Tales from the Crypt.
10? Yeah,
Go
Tales from the
watch
Crypt's
Tales from the
amazing.
Crypt.
You guys should watch Tales from the Crypt on HBO.
Go watch.
Rate it 1 to 10. Go, Jake.
4.6.
Oof. Okay. I'm gonna go 6.6.
I'll go right in the middle there. I'll go 5.6.
Oh shit! All right. All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. We're gonna let Jake go to sleep now. Call
Yeah,
it a
Jake
night.
was sleeping the whole time, but it's fine.
I was just listening.
You got any other tidbits about this fucking movie?
Not much to say about this movie, man. There's just all the stories are pretty straightforward.
Yeah. There's
It
not really
was
much to say. It's
kind of
not really-
bland.
it's not really culturally significant.
No.
Get
It's not
out of
really
here.
historically significant.
It's a great one.
It's just it's a fun kind of movie. Goonies is better than this.
It had its moments.
It's not comparable to Goonies, but sure.
I'm comparing it to Goonies, and I'm saying Goonies is
You're
better.
a moron.
You
An
moron.
80s
As a moron.
action fun movie. Yeah, it's comparable to the Goonies.
Yeah, thank you.
And the Goonies is way fucking better.
No, get out of here. You can't compare
Boom.
it with Goonies.
We
give
just
that-
Watch the
compared.
Goonies.
You didn't. You just said words that don't
We
matter.
just compared them.
If you want to watch a good 80s movie, watch the Goonies.
I agree.
watch Creepshow and Creepshow 2.
I'll watch Creepshow too.
Yeah, watch it. It's worth it. if you
It's
like
a
this
new
movie.
TV show.
Yeah, it is. It's a
I bet
Shudder original.
I bet the show's
It's a
fine.
Shudder original.
I think anthologies need to stay on television. Get out of my movie theaters.
Dude hates anthologies.
I'll watch series of short films, but anthologies, get out of town.
I mean, it's Pulp Fiction anthology.
No,
No.
it's all connected.
Is Amos Perros a techno?
No,
anthology?
those are overarching connected stories.
Is Babel an anthology?
No, they're all connected
Why
stories.
are you naming non-anthology movies?
Well, these are movies that.
It's like
could be anthologies,
Magnolia.
right?
You're just no like ensemble cast movies are not anthologies.
Okay, I didn't say that.
They're
but-
separate story. They're separate
That is
individual
true.
stories.
That
An
is true.
overarching
I didn't say that.
multi-arc
That was
story
true.
is,
You know
is
what?
something totally different.
You know what? Human trafficking, bad.
Traffic, not an anthology story.
Kicking dogs in the head, not good.
You shouldn't do that either. We can all agree, at least
Yeah,
on that.
so anthologies.
I'm
dude.
right.
All right, whatever. Let's just end it.
Well, what is it? Nobody's saying those are anthologies. Why are you
Okay,
saying
good.
those are
I'm just asking if you
anthologies?
consider them anthologies or not.
Why would
Of
you
course
ask
not.
that? Why are you
Because
asking questions?
they're all like separate stories that happen, but they all do have. They do have.
They all come together.
Well, they all
Yeah.
have parts that mix in at least one way.
Intertwined.
They're all something common in one way. They all have at least one thing in common.
It's not something, and then it stops, and then something else,
Yeah,
And
the
then
intertwined,
stops.
intercut.
and then something else.
Yeah, it is
That's-
different stories
that's
going
an
on, but
anthology.
people know each other, you know.
There's just an anthology is a very specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a sweet album from Alien Ant Farm.
Oh, that is a good album. That song, "Movies," love that song.
That's the worst song on there. but-
"Smooth Criminal" is probably a better version than Michael Jackson's too. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's ignorant to say that.
You're ignorant to fucking sit there and look like fucking Don.
You know
Juan
what
Ganoush.
Alien Ant Farm never did? Lick little boys' buttholes.
Oh shit, Jake did, and Michael Jackson did. He might have done it with Michael Jackson.
I didn't say that to Jay. I didn't say that
I
about
did.
Jake.
I did. You know who told me that? Davidson.
What would Davidson know that?
Because I think he was with you and Epstein when you guys did it.
Wild accusations and insults tonight from you.
Oh, Creep Show, baby.
You're the creep show, dude.
No, you're Creep Show. It's gonna be on your gravestone. I'm gonna make a gravestone that says Creep Show.
Okay, sure.
That'd be dope. Can you actually? Can I have that one?
You can have that one.
That'd be
You'll
dope.
be Creep Show TOO.
Oh, that's
Okay, Jake will get the TOO. You can have the first one.
yeah.
I don't want it.
Just say creep show.
Jake just goes, I don't want it. Like that's even gonna ever. You know what? Now, if you do die before me, I'm gonna financially make that
No.
happen.
I don't want it.
All right,
We can make that happen.
Creep Show.
Don't watch it.
Whatever.
Fucking intelligence.
Fucking end it, dude. What are you doing over there?
Shut up.
Well, we're done.
We're done. I mean, it's over. There's nothing else to say.
No more.
You got some more?
You
No
got
more
anything else to
anthology?
say? Go for it.
I got nothing else to say.